Conservative new media viewers, Charlotte Hornets fans around the world, JLin fans around the world. What's up? It's me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we are here to discuss in a joyful fashion the Charlotte Hornets 130 to 105 victory tonight over the Chicago Bulls in Charlotte, North Carolina. With the victory, Hornets improved to 1-3 on the season, and the Bulls fall to 3-2 with the defeat. Let's quickly go over the statistics. Jimmy Butler had a monster game, 26 points, and he just keeps getting better and better. I'm really happy for him. He had an incredibly difficult background, if you don't know the story, and he is a phenomenal player and is likely to be a phenomenal player for a long time in this league, barring any injuries. Pau Gasol, 13 points, 8 rebounds. Dougie McDermott, Dougie McBuckets is his nickname, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Aaron Brooks, our old friend from Houston, 14 points, 4 assists. Bobby Portis, 10 points for the Bulls as well. For the Charlotte Hornets, 4 of the starters were in double-figure scoring. Nicholas Batum, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Terrific night for Nicholas on both ends, I thought. Al Jefferson, 14 points, 3 rebounds. Kemba Walker, 13 points, 5 assists. P.J. Hairston, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Feel very good for him. He just found out that Charlotte's not going to extend his contract. And you know what? He came out and he played well, and that's what you have to do. Marvin Williams, 4 points, 10 rebounds. Spencer Hawes, 13 points, 3 rebounds. Jeremy Lamb, who just got a contract extension himself, unlike P.J. Hairston. 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He had a phenomenal night, shot 9 of 10 from the field. Very happy for Jeremy Lamb and his family. Also Cody Zeller, and there's one other player who was also extended, and I can't remember who it is right now, but I believe 3 players were given contract extensions, so congratulations to all of those 3 players. Jeremy Lin, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Jeremy played 19 minutes, shot 4 of 8 from the field, including 2 of 2 from the three-point line, 5 of 5 free throws, no steals, 1 blocked shot. I will say this. It did appear as though he should have gotten a steal in this game. I'm going to go back and look at that later. Sam mentioned this on Twitter, and I know the play that he's talking about. So, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. 1 block shot, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. Jeremy played a terrific game tonight, and we'll talk more about it in just a little bit here. First, let's talk about what happened overall in the game. I could go through different statistics, but it's not really necessary tonight, although there is one statistic I want to mention for the Hornets, and it's they shot 22 of 23 from the free throw line for 96%. That is phenomenal. Also, one other stat, 14 of 23 from three-point range for 61%. Incredible. I believe coming into this game, the Hornets were second in the NBA in made three-pointers. I think that's correct, although I'd have to check that. I heard the statistic, and I believe that's what it was. So they've completely revamped their offense from last year. If you watched the team last year, they are running and gunning. Look, tonight what happened was, if you're new to watching the NBA, then there will be multiple games like this in a season. If you watch one team, maybe you'll see 5 to 10 games like this in a year in the regular season, which is one team is on it, they're focused, they're pumped up, they're ready, and the other team is completely flat. They have no energy and no sense of urgency, and you get blowout city. And the reason why that happens is these guys play 82 games in a relatively short period of time. You just can't be completely focused every single night. And that's what happened to the Bulls tonight. The Bulls are, obviously, they're a better team than this. And Charlotte's not as good as this, but this is the type of thing that you will see in an NBA season multiple times in a year, just because of, again, the energy levels and you can't do it every single night, particularly not in the regular season. So, as we mentioned, why don't the question has been asked, why don't the Hornets look like they did in the preseason? Because the preseason is not as intense as the regular season is. And then the regular season is not as intense as the playoffs is. The playoffs, if you're playing a decent opponent, you've got to go like max intensity every single game. But in the regular season, you do not get maximum intensity in every single game. And that's what happened to the Bulls tonight. They just didn't have it. And Charlotte was desperate tonight. They needed to win. And they were very focused, and they got the win. One other thing I will say in terms of statistics, Charlotte, 26 assists, 9 turnovers, 3-to-1 ratio. Incredible. And it's indicative of what happened tonight. Charlotte jumped on the Bulls 37-20. They outscored the Bulls in the first quarter, and they really never looked back. In the fourth quarter, or late in the third, actually, the Bulls did cut the lead down to about 17 points. It was high 20s for a lot of the game, and there was a little crack in the window there, but Charlotte quickly stomped that out and coasted in for the victory tonight. That's really what happened. Charlotte was on. They were on point. The Bulls, they just were sleepwalking. And that's basically what happened in this game. Now, JLin only played 19 minutes. And there are things to discuss here, and there are people who are Lin fans who aren't thrilled on Twitter. Why didn't he play more minutes? Clifford seems to be substituting him a little bit later, and this type of a thing. What Coach Clifford was concerned about tonight, in my opinion, were two things. One, he wanted to win no matter what that meant. I think, honestly, if he had to play the starters 35, 40 minutes tonight, he would have done it because the team needed to win. Okay, I'm not saying Jeremy shouldn't factor into that. I'm just thinking that Clifford didn't want to play around tonight. He was just like, whatever had to happen was going to happen. And so I think Jeremy got lost in the shuffle a little bit. He was going to play the starters more if he needed to, was Clifford. And he went with the starters longer in the third quarter. The first quarter was a different story, though. And so there are things that I want to address with Jeremy Lin fans that are realistic here. Jeremy was, I believe, the 4th substitution tonight. Now, the reason why it happened in this particular game was because of Jimmy Butler, meaning Jimmy Butler is the shooting guard for the Bulls. So if Jeremy Lin comes in as the shooting guard, he's got to guard Jimmy Butler. And I can tell you right now, that's not a great matchup. Nothing against Jeremy, but Jimmy Butler's significantly taller than Jeremy is. And Jimmy Butler is a force. And Jeremy's a terrific player, but his forte, his specialty is not defense. So if you're a coach and you've got to win, or you feel urgent and you're going to do whatever you want to do to win, you're going to make adjustments, and you're probably not going to have Jeremy Lin guard Jimmy Butler, just to be honest. And so that's what happened tonight. So instead of Jeremy Lin coming in to play with Kemba Walker in the first quarter, he played when Kemba went out, meaning that Jeremy was going to play the point guard position rather than the shooting guard position. Now, later on in this game, Jeremy was given the defensive assignment against Doug McDermott, which is not something you will see very frequently, which is Jeremy Lin guarding a small forward. Doug McDermott is a small forward. But I believe that occurred because of Jimmy Butler once again. I think Jimmy Butler was still in the game, and I want to say that Charlotte had Nick Batum guard him or Marvin Williams guard him rather than Jeremy Lin. And I have no problem with that whatsoever, just because Jimmy's just extremely difficult to guard for anybody. And if you give him a smaller player, it's really going to be tough. And Jeremy's strong. I mean, he's strong enough to guard Jimmy, but he's not tall enough. And so I think that's what happened. And I think that's why Jeremy got fewer minutes. And that's why the substitution pattern was what it was. Now, Jeremy came out at the end of the game because it was a blowout. So he might have gotten a couple more minutes or 4 or 5 more minutes, but the game was a rout. But, however, there was a kind of an alteration in the first quarter substitution, and that was because of Jimmy Butler. Now, does that mean that Coach Clifford's going to do this every single time and quote unquote diss Jeremy? I doubt it. It's just he just wanted to win. And he didn't want Jeremy guarding Jimmy Butler. That's what happened tonight. Now, Jeremy was guarding at points in this game. He was guarding Derrick Rose as well, and in addition to Aaron Brooks. Look, Jeremy has to continue to work on his defense, and Jeremy does not have super lateral movement speed, and that's just what it is. What Jeremy does have is he's incredibly good at recovering on defense, meaning if his man gets by him, he will track down that man. Like the famous play with Jeremy and Derrick Rose, where Derrick Rose went by Jeremy Lin, and Jeremy Lin blocked his shot. Jeremy doesn't give up on defense, which is critical. He just doesn't have the quickest feet in the world in terms of lateral movement. And that's just what it is. That's fine. Neither does Kemba Walker. Neither did Steve Nash. And that's okay. But you have to be realistic about that. And Jeremy can continue to work on it. If I was going to talk to Jeremy Lin and tell him what to work on right now, I wouldn't worry about the defense. The most important thing for in my opinion, for Jeremy Lin right now is his jump shot. That's the thing that's going to help him get the playing time that he wants and continue to elevate his game. And he's worked on it a tremendous amount. He and his training staff, his trainer and his team. So, I mean, he's doing that. We saw in the Atlanta game, Jeremy had a couple of wide open three-pointers, and he missed them. The more that he's able to hit those shots, not only will that open up the driving opportunities for him driving to the basket, but then even if Jeremy is stuck in the corner in some of these offensive sets, so what? If you're stuck in the corner, guess what? You're going to get wide open shots. So what Jeremy needs to do and he wants to do is hit those shots. And again, he's shooting great. After this game, his three-point percentage is over 40%, which is a phenomenal percentage. So I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying I'm less worried about Jeremy's defense right now. And the thing I just keep working on your jump shot. And then after you're really comfortable, I mean, of course, athletes work on multiple things at once. It's not like if Jeremy works out for 4 hours, he's going to spend 4 hours on his jump shot. Of course, he's working on his defense too, and other things. But I would focus on the jump shot right now, and then once you get your jump shot in a comfortable zone, then work on defense more. Now, Jeremy's never going to be able to change his natural physical attributes in terms of lateral movement. You can't wave a wand and make yourself have incredible lateral movement. It just doesn't work like that. That's okay. Like I said, he doesn't have to be great at that. But the reason why Jeremy is the primary reason why Jeremy Lin doesn't play more when that happens is because of his defense. So it's just, that's what it is. He can keep working on it. He will keep working on it. His defense is better than what people think it is. We all know that, who are Jeremy Lin fans. I'm not trying to diss him. I'm just trying to tell you where the coach is coming from. Or again, this is a desperate situation, and Clifford doesn't want to play around because not only is the team 0-3, Clifford, this is the last year of his contract. He's got to win. So he's just, it's desperation. You're just going to do whatever you think you have to do. And that's kind of some of what's happening right here. And to be honest, as I said, I thought that in the third game of the season against Atlanta, I thought Jeremy was a little jittery, little too over anxious. If you're a coach and you see that and you know you've got to win, well, you might go away from that player for now, not forever, not that Jeremy's going to be put in a little box and not get minutes, but just, okay, here's the next game. I'm going to do anything I can to try to win it. So maybe I'll go with this player who looked a little steadier in that game. Again, I'm just trying to be honest here. I'm not trying to diss anybody. Obviously, I like Jeremy Lin, but we're just talking about some of what his attributes are and some of where things are at. And again, tonight was about Jimmy Butler. That's why Jeremy Lin didn't play more. And that's why he came into the game later. Tonight was about Jimmy Butler, and it was about doing whatever Clifford felt he had to do to win. And I think that meant, in his mind, playing the starters a little bit more. And so I think that that's what we saw in this game. Look, Jeremy had a fantastic game. His PER, which if you're not familiar with that statistic, is kind of like it's a very good statistic, or it's a widely used statistic to kind of give a sense of how well a player performs overall, and particularly on offense. The baseline metric for PER, the average PER, the PER of an average player in the NBA, or the average or the median, is 15.0. Jeremy came into this game tonight with a PER of 16.4. So he's playing above average. Tonight's, just to guess, it's a complicated formula, so I can't do it out. It's just too much work to try to do it. Just to guess at what Jeremy's PER was for tonight, I would guess it's probably around like 35 or 36, which is insane. And that's significantly, that's as high as you can possibly get, basically. That's above MVP of the league level, okay? So what that means is he had an incredible night, and his PER for the season is going to go up. So, again, I came into this game, I wasn't concerned about Jeremy's minutes. I wasn't concerned about anything. I just wanted a team to win. So we got to win. Jeremy played fantastic. The only quote-unquote negative here is, well, okay, he didn't get to guard Jimmy Butler, and he could have played a few more minutes. But I would recommend to Jeremy Lin fans, don't worry about any of that. Tonight was just a great night. I tell you, Jeremy and the team is thrilled, and that's it. Let's just move on. Now the team has some confidence. They got a little bit of swag. Let's move on to the next game, and that game is going to be coming up against the Dallas Mavericks, which, if you know the story, is the team that it appeared like Jeremy Lin was going to sign with this offseason. Of course, that did not happen for different reasons, or whatever the reason was. Dallas is a team that Charlotte can beat. Now, the game is in Dallas, so that makes it more difficult. Dallas is not a great team. They are playing pretty well, though, right now, I think. At least they crushed the Lakers. Not that that's saying a whole bunch, but they're a beatable team. This is a game that Charlotte can win. And two of the next three games actually, I'm looking at the schedule right now, 3 of the next 4 games that Charlotte plays are winnable games, in my estimation. At Dallas, at San Antonio, at Minnesota, and against the Knicks. Knicks, Minnesota, Dallas are winnable games. At San Antonio, that's going to be more difficult. But the team is 1-3 right now. Look, if you win 3 out of 4 in that stretch, you're 4-4. The Eastern Conference, you don't need to be great. You just need to be good. Charlotte is a good team. They were in all 3 of the losses. They were right there, including the Miami game, which was a little more out of hand, but then they came back and got that down to a 5-point lead, even though Miami won by 10. We know they were in both of the Atlanta games. I'm completely content. I knew that the schedule early on in the season was going to be difficult, and great. I mean, sure, if we beat Atlanta and Charlotte, then we're 2-2. But this is okay. This is acceptable. Atlanta's playing some darn good basketball right now, and Charlotte acquitted themselves well against Atlanta in both of those games. So, okay. Like I said, to get a playoff spot in the East, you don't have to be super good. You just have to be okay good, decent. So that's what we're targeting with Charlotte right now. They're not a super team, but they are a team that they have a lot of skill. They have depth. They can shoot the ball, etc. And tonight was just great to see kind of everything come together and the team get that type of a victory because they needed it and they got it. Michael Jordan was in the house. He had on his little black hat and stuff. I like that little hat. I don't know what that's called, like a cargo hat or something. It's just a fantastic night, and I just realized I didn't even do the woo yet. So let's do the noise countdown so you can turn down the sound if you don't like loud noises. 3, 2, 1. Woo! This is just great. The team really needed this, and they got it. So let's head out to Dallas and try to get the victory there. That game will take place Thursday, November 5th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States. That means that the game will take place on Friday, November 6th at 9:30 a.m. in Taipei, Taiwan, and throughout China, I believe. I want to thank Gary Chen for the artwork you're looking at right now. He is the artist who made this work, and I'm going to be doing somebody else. Peace Study sent me in a really nice picture that I'm going to try to get set up for the next video. So we appreciate Peace Study for sending it in. Look, if you're an artist and you want to make a piece of work, we'll put it up. We really appreciate Gary Chen, Gary's helped us out for years now. But we like Lin fans getting into the game as much as they can, whether they're making videos or writing articles or maybe doing podcasts or making artwork. We'll be happy to help you out and promote your stuff. So if you want to do artwork and send it in, we'll use it. But I will tell you this, though. The commenters in the videos can be cruel sometimes because I've used stuff in the past and, they'll give artists hard times and stuff like this. So I'm just letting you know that if you're inclined to send in artwork. Look, I think that's about it. It's a fantastic night, and let's move on to the next game and really try to get the win in Dallas. If the team can get the win in Dallas, then they're on to something. Then you're really starting to head down the right street. And look, they're already doing that. They're playing well. They've played well this season. Just want to try to accumulate as many wins as you can and try to bank as many victories as you can early in the year, just to make it easier on yourself. But again, that doesn't always happen when you have a difficult schedule early on. Okay, let's wrap it up. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Your comments below. How are you feeling about this game? What do you think? What did you think about what you saw tonight? We'll put information about highlights of this game in the video description below the video player. We'll encourage you to come and join the Conservative Media Facebook group and also come and follow us on Twitter. We were talking with people there during the entire game tonight. We'd love to have you come and follow us there as well. Once again, I am PFV Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. Terrific night. I'm super pumped. I'm totally happy. I'm relieved just because the team finally won, and then kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. And I'm excited. Like I said, look, I know this team can beat Dallas. So I'm just hoping that the team is hopefully the flight goes well and they get into Dallas and they're feeling good on Thursday. So let's just keep it rolling. Let's keep the good vibes going. So that's all I have to say for now. I hope you're having a great night, a great day, wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon, and we'll look for you in the comments and also on Twitter.